Finish up your lunch, we have a special guest speaker. Last December, I was fortunate to have been in Chattanooga, Tennessee, as our Wildcats captured our first NCAA championship in football and the 18th NCAA championship in the school's history. The victory was certainly a crowning achievement for the players and the coaching staff of our football team. For Coach Talley, it was the culmination of 25 years of dedicated service to the university and his student athletes. While the victory engendered a great sense of Wildcat pride, it was the story of Coach Talley's work with the National Bone Marrow Foundation that touched the minds and hearts of the Nova Nation. Since becoming involved with the program in 1993, Coach Talley is responsible for more than 20,000 individuals being registered. In 2008, he enlisted the involvement of 30 collegiate football programs nationwide that combined to test more than 16,000 potential donors. There is no question that in his 26 years at Villanova, Coach Andy Talley has taught his players to be winners and leaders on the field of play. But more importantly, he has also taught his players to be winners and leaders in life. Please join me in welcoming Coach Andy Talley.
Thank you very much, Bob. Hi, everybody. Great to be here. I know that you've had quite a group of sessions, and last day you've been discussing leadership. Certainly it is a very fascinating subject. When I arrived at Villanova in 1984, there was no football team, no offices, no players, no coaches, no schedule. We had dropped football in 1981, and it was my mission to bring football back to the university. During the last 26 years, I've worked with 3 different presidents and 4 different athletic directors, and all of them had very different ideas about football. I kept one very strong principle intact, however, and that was that we would be judged as much by what we did off the field as what we did on the field. So even though winning is especially important, it was very important that our program could make an impact in the community. I was familiar with many of the leadership principles that I know you talked about this week. But there's a little book out there that impressed me. And that book, and I'm sure several of you have read it, it's called Who Moved My Cheese by Spencer Johnson. Those 3 presidents and 4 athletic directors, they keep moving my cheese on me. I'm still trying to find the cheese. I think everybody in the room is still trying to find it. Somebody moves the cheese on us every day. We were #1 in the country this past Saturday going into the William and Mary game, and lo and behold, after the game and a loss, William and Mary moved our cheese. So I just want you to know that we are continually trying to get the prize, and as this season goes on, I have a good feeling about us. When I was a young offensive coordinator at Brown University back in the early 70s, I worked with a very high-powered lawyer. He helped me recruit the state of Pennsylvania at that time. He actually once defeated F. Lee Bailey, the great trial lawyer. Anyway, he came to my house one weekend after a game, and on my wall phone, I had a grease board. So he took the pen, and he went up to the grease board, and he put on the very top, "Win. Losers get fired." And I never forgot that. I left it on my grease board my 6 years at Brown, and every night when I didn't want to make that last recruiting call at 10:30 or 11 o'clock, I would dial the phone, or I don't know if we had dial or push button back in those days. But that kept me going. It is a rather harsh reality, but it is a way of life in college football. Our mission here at Villanova, for me, has been very simple. Number one, to graduate all of our players. Number two, to develop contributors to society. And then number three, win football games. Following that philosophy, this past fall, we won the prize. We won the national championship. And on the road to the national championship, some very interesting and fun things happened. And I'd like to share a few of those things with you. It was a most interesting year. Every Saturday before a game, we have Mass. Father Hagen, our chaplain, says what I call the express Mass. I tell him it's got to be 20 minutes or less. And he does a great job. And he gives a nice talk in between. And this one game, I think it was maybe the third or fourth game of the year, and we were very highly ranked. And he talked about the stonecutter in the Bible who continually hits the stone with his hammer. And he never, ever knows what blow will break the rock. And he keeps tapping that rock and tapping that rock. And lo and behold, as he continues to tap the rock, it breaks. So as a coaching staff, we came back from Mass, and I said, you know, that was a phenomenal message that Father Hagen delivered. We've got to keep tapping the rock. How can we put this into our program in some way? So Monday, 4 or 5 coaches all come in with different rocks they picked up along the way. So, you know, round rocks, little rocks, big rocks. So I mentioned it to Father Hagen, and he goes, I've got the rock. So he brings this beautiful square rock to our office and said, this is one of the first building blocks of the first church on the campus at Villanova. And now we put that rock in our locker room, and every player now taps the rock. When we walk into practice, out of practice, but especially on game day, when we travel, that rock is with us. And it's significant in that that's what life is all about, tapping that rock every day, because you never know when you're going to break it, and you never know how long it's going to take you. And it's a great concept, and now it is part of our tradition. As we moved along in the season, I kept looking for things that would create some fun and adventure, and I can get a little quirky, and I'm big on karma. Karma, to me, it's very important, and I look at things and I see things, and I'll try to diagnose this and go, this is good. This is good karma. I can tell you on Saturday, when I was in the first quarter of the game at William & Mary, the karma was not good. It was not good. I could feel it. There was just something wrong. We were not ready to play that game, which is my fault. But the karma was not good. Anyway, we're practicing in the stadium where we practice at Villanova Stadium. And in the fall, as you know, it starts to get chilly. And we're having kind of a lagging type of practice. And suddenly, I see a flock of geese coming across the stadium. And I look up into the sky, and it is in the form of a V. So I blow the whistle, call everybody in, and I go, look at this. This is an omen. This is a sign. V for Villanova. I'm telling you guys, the karma is good. So we have a lot of players on our team from the inner city. I don't think they've ever seen a goose or a geese. And they look at me like, is this guy crazy or what? I said, no, believe me, this is good karma. So everybody laughs. We go back to practice. Anyway, we fly down to Chattanooga, and we get into the mode of the game and get ready for the game, and it's Wednesday in practice. We're in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and I hear honk, 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 and I look up. Not only is there one group of geese in a V, there's two. I blow the whistle, and as I blow the whistle, I point up, and they intersect and become one in the form of a V. And I look at the players and I go, what did I tell you? What did I tell you? The karma is here. We are going to win this game. So that's Wednesday. We're going to play the game Friday night. Thursday is your walkthrough the day before the game. We had a lot of press there and so on. And they were practicing parachuting into the stadium on game day. And so this tremendous group of parachutists from the local airborne group comes in with this transport plane. And we're coming out of practice, and all of our players are taking pictures, and they're flying down one by one by one to practice to bring the game ball in. As they come down, these guys in precision, bang, bang, 10 of them in a row. Guess what color their parachutes were? Blue and white. I told our guys, the karma is here. We cannot lose this game. And they believed me, and I believed it. And that was something that I thought was just really interesting that carried us through. And hey, we're a Catholic school. You've got to believe in stuff. It's a sign from God. So that's some of the fun stuff that happened. And as we went through the playoffs, you have to play 4 games or 3 games to get to the national championship. With our bone marrow program, as Bob said, we have 29 other college football teams that work with me in the spring, and every spring we go into the campus community and the town and we encourage people to come and test. This year we tested 715 people. The statistics are horrendous. For a Caucasian, your chance of getting a bone marrow transplant is 1 in 60,000. If you're African American, Asian, or Hispanic, it's 1 in a million. So if you have a leukemia or a bad blood disease, your chances are slim to get this. And why is that? Because we don't have enough people on the registry for matches. So that's my job. That's what we do. So anyway, with these coaches, we tested 8,800 people last year. And some of the big universities contacted me, and I won't mention their name, and they said, well, what happens if one of your players gets called to test during the season? I said, well, that probably won't happen, but they might miss a game or two. Well, you know, if you're in the Big Ten or the Big East or the Big 12 and your top player is going to miss a game, not too many coaches are excited about that. Well, it happened to me. First playoff game, Matt Caesar walks into my office and he goes, I have the greatest news. I said, what is that? He said, I'm a match for a little infant girl. And so I'm like, okay, well, what's up? He goes, well, what do you mean? He goes, I'm doing it. I said, okay, great. I said, well, now here's the deal. If you do this, just know that you probably will miss 2 games, maybe 3, because your spleen swells and you can't get hit during that process as it goes back down. So I said, what do you think? He goes, what do I think? I'm doing it. I said, okay, that's all I want to hear because I'm there. You know, we're going to save a life. I'm not worried about a national championship. That's what we're going to do. So I announced it to the team. Players understand this. This is part of the deal. So now we go 1 game, 2 games. Finally, the NMDP called me and say, this little girl's red blood cells have become stronger. They're multiplying. We don't need the transplant right now. I said, okay. We go through. Matt has a phenomenal run. Probably would not have won the national championship without Matt Caesar. And then in the spring, he misses 10 Big East baseball games to donate and save this 19-month-old little girl. And it's a wonderful, wonderful story. So that's what your university is producing. People who are willing to give up something that is so precious and special to them in order to save a life. Really. And that's part of what we do here. And I just want to let you know how this has spilled over into the campus. This is a quick email that I'm going to read to you from the class of 2013. His name is Greg Latanzi, and his father went to school here. And he says, Coach Talley, just wanted to let you know that I'm resting comfortably in the conference center. Now, Gary Olson, the alumni group, and my foundation made sure that he and his mom had a room there to be taken care of when he donated. He said, I'm resting. Surgery started yesterday at 6 a.m., October 1st, this past Friday, and I awoke about 12:30 after they drew over 1 liter of marrow. I actually haven't had any pain so far, just a little discomfort in my lower back. I heard from my consultant the marrow was flown directly from my surgery to another hospital where the recipient was waiting, and it was given to the recipient right away. So I'll get an update in about 3 weeks. Thank you for this awesome program that you've created at Nova to add potential donors to the registry. It was an honor to be a part of this. Let me know if I can be of any help in any other way. This is one of our students, a junior here, who saved a life. Had nothing to do with winning a football game. He saved a life and loved doing it. So where are we going with this? How far can we reach with this program? I know we talked about globalization in this meeting in the last day and a half. This is from a guy named Ken Bennett, and I'll be very short. He goes, hello, sir, my name's Ken Bennett. I'm currently serving in the Middle East. This is one of our guys fighting in the Middle East. He read about Matt Caesar in Stars and Stripes, and he says, you inspired me to sign up for the Department of Defense Bone Marrow Registry. Just wanted to say thank you and keep up the great work of keeping these kids inspired to help out others for the greater good. This is one of our guys putting his life on the line, read about one of our players' students at Villanova, and now he's on the registry, and I will guarantee you that someday he will save a life. And lastly, this is from a girl named Maggie Green. And Maggie, right now, yesterday, donated. She's a class of 2005, and a graduate, 09, of Villanova. And she said, Coach, I want to thank you because you've given me the chance to save a life. I was contacted as a potential bone marrow match for a 52-year-old who relapsed with AML. Last week, after confirmatory testing, I was confirmed to be a match for the patient with bone marrow harvest from the pelvis surgery set for 10/7 yesterday. I wouldn't have had this incredible opportunity if it weren't for Villanova football and your willingness to save others. Keep up the goodness, and here's the message. She says at the end, live simply, live generously, care deeply, and speak kindly. Maggie Green. One more time. Live simply, love generously, care deeply, and speak kindly. Isn't this what Villanova University is all about? Thank you very much. Step out of your way. Thanks.
Thank you. Pretty tough act to follow there. Wow. I have an assignment for all of you. The Villanova Alumni Association is, with one of our co-sponsors, Liberty Mutual, is working on a program to make Coach Talley the Coach of the Year. So if you would be kind enough, when you have the opportunity, go online and look for coachoftheyear.com, and you'll see they have the opportunity. The winning Coach of the Year is given $50,000 to make a donation to the charity of his choice, which obviously would be the Bone Marrow Foundation. You can vote every day You can vote every day, and the website actually shows the standings. I've already voted for Coach Talley 25 times myself. So please vote frequently. As Gary Olson says, it's like Chicago. Vote often and vote frequently. You know, it's like you can get it. Coach Talley, thanks so much. That was very inspirational. It was terrific stuff. Before we conclude, I'd like to make a few acknowledgments. Father Peter and Mike O'Neill, thank you very much for being supportive of our Summit on Leadership. We appreciate your help. The 4 academic centers of excellence and research for their outstanding work at the Summit: the Center for Global Leadership in the Villanova School of Business, the Center for Global Public Health in the College of Nursing, the Center for the Advancement of Sustainability in Engineering in the College of Engineering, and the Center for Peace and Justice Education in the College of Liberal Arts and Sciences. Thank you to all of our speakers, panel moderators, and panelists who contributed their time and talent. The Leadership Summit presenting sponsor, Comcast, thank you very much. The Leadership Summit program sponsors, Independence, Blue Cross, Liberty Mutual, Center for Global Leadership in the Villanova School of Business, CareerSuccessions.com, and the University Shop. The Board of Directors for the Alumni Association, and the entire staff here at the Connolly Center under the direction of Tony Alfano. The University Advancement and Alumni Relations staff, who attended to all of the behind-the-scenes planning for the summit, and I know the Alumni Relations team was up till 3 o'clock in the morning the night before to have everything here and ready for you. So thanks so much for their hard work. And most of all, from my heart, I thank you very much for taking the time away from your families and your business to be here. As alumni, parents, friends, faculty, and administrators, we are all stewards of this great university. It is our responsibility to ensure that Villanova continues to inspire the students to be leaders in our world and to make a difference in the lives of others. Thank you again for being here. Travel safely. Have a great afternoon.